Hello, everyone. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Freeman webinar. Just going to give it a few more minutes. Looks like we still have people coming in. Welcome, everybody, to the Freeman webinar. We'll get started here in a few minutes. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jana Roche. I'm the BD&Y Sales Director. Welcome to the Freeman webinar. Before we get started, I'm just going to introduce the BD&Y sales team and marketing and operations team, so you guys can put a name with a face. Again, my name is Jana Roche, the BD&Y Sales Director. I don't see Tim Fearney on here yet, so I'll pass it over to Adam. He is also on our sales team. Adam, you want to say hello, if you can?
Hey everyone, nice to see you. I'm Adam Morris, account executive on the BDNY team.
And then we have Lindsay Judy.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Lindsay Judy with the BDMY sales team.
And then Nicole Panzica.
We're service
And-
manager.
And then on our marketing team, we have Ron Denny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ron Denny, and I am the marketing manager.
And then Katie Saria.
Hi, everybody, marketing specialist.
And then lastly, on our operations team, we have Jennifer Finn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Finn, Operations Manager on the team.
Great. So there is just a few things. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you guys have any questions while we're reviewing this webinar, please put your questions there and we'll get to those at the end. Also, just wanted to let everybody know we are going to put this recording on the Exhibitor Resource Center, and it will be in our next exhibitor update newsletter that you guys will get probably in the next week or so. So, Craig, I'll hand it over to you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jana. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Craig Gabler. I'm the Director of Customer Experience at Freeman, and we're so happy to partner once again with the BDNY team to help you prepare for your coming event. If you're new to exhibiting, this is a great webinar for you, but if you've been exhibiting for many years, this is also an opportunity to learn and identify some of the specifics on the BDNY show, get your questions answered, and make sure that you and your team are fully prepared. So let's get started. We're going to cover 5 quick topics before we open up with a live Q&A at the end of the session. So we're going to start by how you can access your online resources. We're going to cover the show services, both what Freeman provides as well as what other vendors provide. We're going to go into a topic called shipping and material handling. If you're newer to exhibiting, this adds a little bit more of the logistical details. So we dive in that a bit deeper to make sure that we get your questions answered. We'll look at the show schedule and the details about the dates and times. We'll give you some on-site tips, both how to plan and to save money. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to end with a live Q&A. So like Jana mentioned, there's a Q&A box. Feel free to drop your questions in throughout the presentation. If they're individual and specific, we may write back to you as the presentation is going on. But if it's relevant to many, we will answer those questions live at the end of the session. So the first thing is, if you are a newer exhibitor, you might realize quickly that there's a lot for you to understand. Each specific show has its own set of rules, regulations, things that your booth comes with, what it does not. And if you travel around and do different exhibits, you'll realize that there are certain things you can do in some cities that you can't. So the most important thing to consider is it just takes a lot of time to really dig into the details for each specific show. At least 45 days is the best practice, is what we say. And that date is about Friday, September 20th. So make sure, if you haven't started pulling the details, getting your shipping and your orders placed, now is the time to do that. Use this as inspiration to start really digging into the details of the event. Freeman's one of the official contractors for the event, and as such, we start communicating with you specifically to help you be aware of what you can receive from Freeman and what information we can help provide. We have a pre-show campaign of emails that are sent automatically to the main point of contact, so you might already be getting these. There's a first one that's an introductory email, one as a week out of our discount reminders to ensure that you save money. And then the final one is the week leading up to the show that has some important, valuable information about how to prepare, find the show site contacts, etc. So if you are not the main point of contact, maybe you can ask to have these sent to you because they are very helpful. However, if you're not, there's an easy way to access Freeman from the BDNY exhibitor portal. We like to show that so that you know that while we do have a different site, they're linked and it's easy to get from one to the other. So from the BDNY homepage, if you click on the show details at the top, it'll pull down a menu, and under exhibit, you can see the exhibit resource center. And then if you scroll down on that open page, just select Freeman Online. That's the name of our Freeman specific portal, but it does have lots of valuable information. And I will say the BDNY and the Freeman portal link back and forth a lot. There's some information that's the logistics focused items from Freeman, but that obviously has lots of value to link you back to the main BDNY page. So you'll want to spend some time in these to get some really valuable information. When you land on the BDNY homepage within Freeman Online, right away we try to make it as intuitive as possible. This is a picture of the home screen. You'll see some really valuable information right up top. There's a dynamic a timeline at the top that moves as it gets closer to the show, and it will tell you the most important Freeman specific detail that's coming up. So as you see there, the next one is the discount price deadline. That'll move towards the next important detail as you plan. There's lots of these big tiles that provide you links to important things like how to shop, how to get a quote for transportation, and we'll dig into a little bit more of this, but lots of valuable information, even just on this homepage. There's first-time exhibitor resources. You can place orders, sort of like an Amazon-style ordering, a section for exhibitor education. And we actually just launched a new virtual assistant named Sky. So you're able to ask Sky specific questions and it will give you the details. So instead of having to go find the material handling page, if you want to ask what, let's say, the show site delivery rate dates are, Sky can answer that for you. It's a virtual assistant. She's still learning, but it's got a lot of great information already and it will only get better. So it's a fully online experience at Freeman Online. And what that means is there's very few Freeman specific PDF information, but the information that you find on any page like this, the quick facts, any kind of important informational page, there's always an opportunity to save as a PDF or print. So you just look for the print button at the top right of each screen, and it will give you an opportunity to save that information in whatever form you'd like so you can pass it on to your teams. Now, you might be wondering what is included in your booth when you sign up. Now, obviously, that's shared with you when you sign your contract, but there are some different types of experiences that you might have signed up for. There's exhibitors that can select standard, non-packaged booths, and they will receive raw space. And that means that there's essentially the flooring, your outlined space on the floor so that you can build and construct your booth from the ground up. There's also a premium booth package where you do receive automatically 10-foot high white hard walls, sidewalls for those booths. You see the details there on the screen. It comes with carpet already, light fixtures, and an identification sign. So if you're not sure what your team has signed up for, make sure you check your contract so that you see what your booth structure will look like and what is automatically included. From that, you can sort of continue to build and create the experience that you want so that you can have the exhibiting experience with your attendees that you dream of. Freeman is the official services contractor, and we have many different services that you see here. I'll dig into them a little bit deeper, just each one. But as you can see, many of the services you might need to construct, fabricate, and design your booth is something that we can assist with. The most important thing is Freeman has a really key opportunity for you to save and create a better return on investment for your exhibiting experience. So any orders placed by October 9th will receive deep discounts. So keep that deadline of October 9th in mind. Anything placed past that or at show site does have additional surcharges because it's past our discount deadline. So spend the time between now and October 9th to really understand how you're going to design your booth, the structure, the furnishings, what labor you might need, and place those orders by October 9th. I should mention other vendors may also have a special deadline as well. It might not be the exact same one as Freeman. So as you start to plan, really consider what discount deadlines are available for each vendor. So some of the items that Freeman comes with or that you're able to order from Freeman, we have various options of flooring. So we have various colors of carpet, we have tile, we even have turf. So as you're building and designing your booth space, if your booth isn't one of them that came automatically with flooring, you can receive flooring from us. We also have lots of furnishing options. So as you're starting to strategize, what do you want to accomplish in your booth? Are you showing a presentation? Do you want to have an area where you can meet one-on-one with clients and network? Think about that, and there's furnishings options that are available for whatever option you're trying to accomplish. We're also a full print house, so if you need graphics printed, if you need signage in your booth, Freeman can offer that service as well. And we also have fully constructed exhibit structure options. We have lots of rental exhibit solutions. The two on the left are fully formed packages you can order right on Freeman Online for varying strategies on what you're trying to accomplish. And if you want something even more custom, we have an in-house design team that will assign you with that will get a salesperson involved, and we can build you the exhibit space of your dreams. So keep this in mind if you want to create the experience from the ground up. I'm going to pivot real quick, and we're going to talk about labor services. If you're new, you may not be exactly familiar with what you can and can't do. And even if you've exhibited before, sometimes labor services change from city to city. So we like to go over the jurisdictions of each location. So for New York, full-time exhibit employees may install and dismantle the displays, which do not exceed 250 square feet without tools and ladders. You can unpack, pack, arrange merchandise and products in the exhibit space. You load and unload your personal vehicles that are no larger than a standard van. You'd use a two-wheel baggage cart or hanging clothes racks with four wheels to move in items, connect modems, printers, computers. So there's lots of things that you can do, especially if you have a smaller space that you can do on your own. If you need to do services or you need to do functions that fall out of those, you may need to hire labor. And so we have various types of labor that can perform work for you. One is display labor, where perhaps you just want to focus on meeting with clients, really doing the work when the show is open. We're able to assist with this building and the dismantling of your structures. Those labor services are per person per hour. Start times are always guaranteed at the beginning of the day. So if you want to show up at 3 p.m. during move-in, we'll get you the next available person. If you get display labor, make sure to check in with the exhibitor services teams when you get on site to let them know when you're ready. If you need to cancel, it must be completed in writing 24 hours in advance. And we also have a service called Freeman Supervised Labor, where we'll do everything for you, even before you get on site. If you send us the schematics and information and you want us to follow it to build your structure, we're happy to do that so that you can get on site and just focus on the work of meeting your clients and selling your products and services. We're also the Freeman, the cleaning service vendor. So if you need additional cleaning services, or let's say you have samples that are going to be creating trash throughout the day of pass outs and you need someone to walk by regularly, those are the types of things that you can order cleaning services with Freeman. Exhibitors do receive Freeman or vacuuming prior to the opening morning of the show, but if you need us to come back for the subsequent days or need additional cleaning services, you can place that order with us. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about material handling services. If you're new to exhibiting, this may not be something you're as familiar with. You might have heard the term shipping and handling. The same goes for services for events like this. And shipping and material handling are tied together from beginning to end. So I'm going to go through that quickly. When you ship items from your warehouse, from your office, and you want to have them show up at the event, you actually have two different options. You're able to ship to what we call the advanced warehouse, and that's up to a month before the event. You can ship those items to the warehouse, and Freeman has a warehouse that we will hold them, unload them, and store them for you. And then when the time is right, we will bring them to the show. That's the first option. Or you can ship directly to show site. Show site, obviously, we only have the building itself for a certain amount of time. So that's why receiving starts right at the beginning of exhibitor move-in on November 6th. So that's what shipping is, transportation. And once that happens and we receive your freight from either of those locations, that's when material handling as a service kicks in. We unload those materials, we bring them, or we either store them for the month or bring them directly from the dock into your exhibit space so that you can unpack. Once you unpack, you're going to have a bunch of empty containers in the booth space, and that's not exactly what you want for your customers. So we will hold those empties during the show. Once the show is over and you're ready to pack, we bring the empties back to you. And then once you are packed and it needs to be loaded out on an outbound carrier, transportation kicks in. So all of those areas in the green and all of those multiple times that we touch that freight and handle it from space to space, that's called material handling. And that's a service we provide. It might sound like it's complicated, but we try to make it as easy as possible. All you need to know is how much weight you're shipping, and there's easy calculations for what material handling would charge. It's a per pound rate when charges are available. The great thing about this show is you actually have free material handling for items that go directly to the Javits Convention Center. There's a few exclusions. So if you ship to the advanced warehouse instead, there's a charge for that. And then any show site shipments from FedEx and UPS small packages, there is a small surcharge, even if they go directly to show site. That's because of their delivery processes. It's not as controlled as others. So if you just ship with a regular carrier or you bring those in your own vehicle directly to show site, that is free material handling. There's a lot of information about material handling and information that if you're not familiar with the service, please go on Freeman Online and look at this area within Freeman Online that's specifically about the shipping and material handling process. There's additional details about it. There's lots of information, actually. The material handling rates are all listed in there. The labels that you have pre-printed labels, so it goes exactly to the right location. Sometimes if you've ever tried to ship to a hotel or a convention center, it's kind of confusing, the addresses that you need. So we always encourage you to use the specific labels that we build for you. There's target information, marshalling yard information, empty storage details. If really spend some time here if it's not familiar with you. I'm going to go through a few things though. The shipments that go to show site are targeted. What that means is we can't, unfortunately, have everybody show up at the exact same time. So your booth has been assigned a specific target date and time. Now, you're not supposed to be able to look at this screen and see it, but we do have all of this information within Freeman Online. So if you don't know your freight target, you can receive it within there. So for your freight target, what that means is any warehouse shipments will automatically be in your booth by the time your target starts. And for show site shipments, Once your target starts is when we're able to begin bringing your trucks over from the marshaling yard that have already been checked in. So understanding your target time and how long that will take to get your truck unloaded once your target hits is key, because that will depend on when you're able to build and install your exhibit. So make sure that you understand your target time. For trucks going directly to the convention center, you can imagine you can't just have trucks show up automatically in the middle of downtown New York and go to a dock. We just have to control it a bit more. So there's a marshaling yard. What that is a location that they're expected to check in prior to coming to the convention center. And the address is listed on the screen. Carriers delivering to or picking up from the facility must check in at the North Freight check-in office at that location. We ask that trucks show up with certified weight tickets so that we already know how much the weight is. And what happens at that location is if your truck is number 7, because there's 6 trucks in front of them, they'll be assigned a number, and then we will bring them over when their number comes. So it's first come, first serve when folks check in at the marshaling yard. And drivers must check in no later than 2:30 on the targeted move-in date to be offloaded that same day. It's all about moving the freight, right? And getting all those trucks there so that we can get them delivered to your booth space. If you have a vehicle in your booth, perhaps like a car or some other kind of vehicle that will fit in your exhibit space, instead of doing it by weight, it's a specific cost for that. Mobile spotting is what we call it. We bring it in. So there's certain important details on the screen about the mobile unit and vehicle spotting process. Now, you've unpacked, your exhibit looks beautiful, you're ready for the show to open. We've got these big empty crates. We need to move them out of your space, and that's part of material handling. So we will take them off of the show floor and we will hold them. What needs to happen at show site is you'll put an empty sticker on them, and that'll say your booth number and your company name. When we see that sticker, we'll automatically take them out of your booth space and store them for you. The key here is the empty process to bring them all back into the facility does take quite a few hours. Obviously, there's many customers at the show, and you will have to wait for those empty containers to come back. So really keep this in mind. If you have large containers in a larger booth that takes time to dismantle, you need to build in time for that empty container removal process. There are a few ways, if you need to leave immediately after the show, that you can sort of execute something instead. You can get Freeman dismantle labor, where we wait for your items and then pack it up and ship it out for you on your own details. Or we offer priority empty return labels, which means that those crates or cases or containers come back within the first 2 hours of move out. And those are $160 per label, and you only need 1 label per item. So as you're considering your process, even dismantling your booth already, think about what you may need to ensure that that process goes smoothly for you. And all shipments that leave the facility need paperwork. We need to hear from you where it's going, what carrier is picking it up, how many pieces it is. So you're able to go into Freeman Online even before the show and provide us that outbound paperwork information. And if not, that's okay. You can fill it out at show site as well. We'll print out paperwork for you. We'll print out pre-printed labels based on the outbound so that you can label your items and get them shipped out appropriately. This is what the outbound paperwork process looks like. So even after you give us that information, there's still a bit more information that you need to fill out. And you bring that paperwork to us completed, we'll give you a copy, but you leave all of the freight labeled in your booth. And that's if Freeman is helping you out, getting out of the facility. We're also a carrier. So if you don't want to do any of this, you want to just say, I'm shipping these items from my facility or my office, and I want you to take it to the facility, do the material handling and ship it home. We're happy to do both of those for you. And you can request a quote from Freeman Transportation Specialists on Freeman Online. Now that sounds like a lot, and that's not even every other vendor. We do many things, but as you see on the screen, there's lots of other vendors that do really important work and help you prepare your exhibit space. So What I recommend is if you go to Freeman Online and you click order, you don't even have to remember, is this a Freeman thing? Is this somebody else thing? Freeman Online is holistic in that all of the other vendors are also listed under that order under non-Freeman services at the bottom. So let's say you need audio visual or you need electrical and plumbing. We will give you links within Freeman Online to all of those other vendors as well. Show site information, we'll just talk quickly through the information about the schedule. Move-in begins for the first targeted exhibitors on November 6th. Here's the schedule with the full exhibitor move-in days, exhibit hall hours, and move out. As you notice, on Friday, November 8th and 9th, there's no freight service. So make sure your trucks are already checked in. The exhibit hall hours, Sunday, November 10th and 11th is from 10 a.m. to 5. Usually you have a bit of time that you can get in to prepare your booth earlier in the morning before the show opens. And then on move out, it ends Monday, November 11th at 5, and we will continue to move out from 5 to 10 that night. Tuesday, November 12th and 13th is targeted as well. The last thing I wanted to mention about the schedule is carriers must check in on that last day by noon on Wednesday, November 13th, and we have to be completely clear of everything at the facility by 3 p.m. So obviously this is a lot of information. We don't expect you to internalize it here. We have a really important document just from the homepage on Freeman Online called Quick Facts that has all the schedule, the detail, and a whole lot of more valuable, really key information. At show site, if you have questions, you're not on your own. We have lots of ways that you could receive support. We will drop off a flyer in your booth space, and it will have contact information for the on-site teams. Or if you're a techie person, you can actually go into Freeman Online and do certain functions on your own. You can request a concierge to come see you. You can set up nice notifications so that lets you know when empties are back or when your truck's checked in. And you can even complete your outbound paperwork directly within Freeman Online, so you don't have to use physical paperwork. So we try to give you options to complete the tasks at show site that you need to see in the way that you want to. A few cost planning and savings tips. Make sure you review the exhibitor service manual and these sites. It has lots of important deadlines, and it will really help you prepare before you get on site. You want to make sure you order before vendor discount deadlines to save money. You want to send any setup instructions with all labor orders and give a copy of that inside your crates you ship as well. You want to consolidate shipments. You want to avoid the late to warehouse fees. And then also, most important though, if you're not going to be on site and you're just planning, make sure that all the teams have paperwork on site. So what orders did you place? What freight did you ship? What are tracking numbers? You really want to equip them so that during that very short move-in period, they have all the information of what to expect. Now, we have a full team that's ready to support you. If you have many questions, we're going to cover them in the Q&A, but this is also the contact information for the Freeman team. If you need to ask any questions, we can help guide you through Freeman Online or help you place any orders you would like. I think with that, that's the end of the official presentation, but now we are able to take any questions that you have. It can be about Freeman, it can be about anything else for the show. We want to make this time so that you feel like you get your questions answered. So if you have questions on your mind, please drop them in the Q&A, and our collective team will tackle them all. All right, it looks like Katie Yarder said, if you have a raw booth space, how or what do you do to get electric? So electric is provided by the facility itself, the McCormick, and so you can place an order with them for the electrical. One thing I should mention, most electrical providers automatically run cords in the back of the booths. It's an efficiency thing, but as you use it, they will usually put in an order on your behalf. So you might as well go ahead and talk to them in advance, let them know specifically what you need. That is a facility specific, that they're the vendor that provides that. So, but you can find a link to the Javits, I'm sorry, Javits, the Javits team. You can find the link to them directly within Freeman Online. Hopefully that helps, Katie. Rachel mentions, where exactly are the outbound paperwork forms online, and can I fill them out beforehand? You absolutely can. And within that shipping and material handling form within Freeman Online, there, click on that, and there's a big button that says outbound paperwork. You can fill that information out now. What other, here we go. Jed mentions, if I ship to the advanced warehouse, I understand that you're charged a fee based on the weight of your shipment. Is that a separate fee for material handling? Nope, that is your material handling fee. So the inclusive per pound rate for material handling going to the warehouse is the whole process, including the material handling warehouse fees. Great questions. Anyone have questions about the material handling process, labor, what your booths come with, utilities? We're here to answer them all. Jenna, anything that your team wants to bring up just as a best practice or a suggestion while people are thinking of their questions? Anything you want to
No,
give as a
I think
recommendation?
you covered a lot of it.
Okay.
So, yeah. Don't see any other questions.
Right. Well, hopefully everyone who's on the call got some great information. Like I mentioned, if you need additional support, please reach out to Freeman. We're happy to walk you through and guide you to the right places on Freeman Online, get you the specific information you want. We want you to have a great show, so we're happy to help you prepare. We have another question. Can you send us a recorded video of the webinar? Great question. And yes, we were actually recording, and it will be placed on the BDNY site. Jenna, do you know is there a specific page it will be posted?
It will be in the Exhibitor Resource Center on the BDNY website. And then we'll also send it out in the exhibitor newsletters that you guys get weekly. So, yeah.
Perfect. Mary Jo says, can exhibitors assemble their own displays? I think that the specifics are, if you're under 250 square feet, you do have quite a bit of leniency to do certain things. There is a rules and regulations sheet on the BDNY site that says it goes in directly to very specifically what you can and can't do. So it's more nuanced than maybe your question, but you do have an opportunity to do quite a bit. So make sure you read through that rules and regulations, and it will tell you exactly what you can and can't do. And if you need to accomplish something beyond that, we have labor services available. Anything else? All right. Well, Jana, did you want to wrap us up and just say a quick
Sure.
end?
No, thank you so much for this. It's very helpful, and hopefully the exhibitors will find it helpful as well. So as I mentioned again, we'll post it on the website probably in the next couple of hours. But if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me or your account executive, and we can help you. Thank you for attending.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Mhm.
Have a great show.